Hey everybody, welcome to my cube collection of 2021. Thank you guys for so much for watching this video. So without further ado, before we start this video, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you can be notified of each video I upload. And so yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over are my cubes that I keep on my desk, which are my electric cubes. So first off, we have the Gan Rsm. So this is the Gan Rsm. As you can see, it has a little charging dock. It is a very fun puzzle to use, and so this is what I use normally when I want to track my times and try to get better and improve. And then the other one I have right here is the Ufo Cube. This is the first one I got that was an electric cube. It is a very good one. I definitely recommend it. However, there are some better ones out there now, so yeah. But this is my Ufo Cube that I have, and I keep these on my desk because that's where I charge them. Alright, so to go over next, we're going to go over our gear cube section, so let's do that. Alright, so the first cube we have is this giant gear cube, and it's super fun to mess around with. And as you can see, it is huge, and if I get a regular 3x3, you can just see how much more massive this cube is than a regular 3x3. So it's a really fun puzzle to do. It's just so big and huge, and it's extremely loud. It is definitely a very fun puzzle. Alright, so the next cube we have, this is the 3x3 gear cube. This is just a regular gear cube that I have. I did get this a while back. It's not too good, but it's pretty good. It's not that terrible. I mean, you're not really going to be speed solving any cube like this. It is extremely loud as well, but not as bad as the other one. As you can see also right here, it doesn't have any colors on these 4 pieces, which the other one does, which is why it is actually a little bit easier to solve. Then next up we have the gear ball, and as you can see, this one has the colors on these, which actually makes it the same solution as the gear cube over there. So they are actually 2 different cubes basically. But this is also just really fun. It is actually very smooth, and it is still pretty loud. The plastic on this cube is pretty loud. But it is a very fun puzzle to do, and it just looks pretty nice. Then we have this weird gear cube that I got a while back from some eBay listing. I don't remember, but it's actually, as you can see, it turns like this. So we can turn these sides like this, like a regular 3x3, but then we have the regular gear cube. So I've never actually scrambled it, but it seems like, I feel like it would be a little bit harder than a regular gear cube. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I have never actually scrambled it. And then the last gear cube we have is this gear egg. It used to be an egg, but I don't know how to solve it. I don't feel like learning how to solve it, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it at this, kind of have it display on my shelf, but I'm not really ever going to try to solve it. Alright, so those are my gear cubes, but also I have these 2 cubes. This is a extremely small 3x3, and this is the smallest one that I own. If this is a regular 3x3, that is the size of the cube. It's almost 1 cubie of a regular 56mm cube, and then we have a 1x1, which is pretty close to a 56mm cube, 1 cubie. But yeah, so these are just 2 more things I have on my shelf over there, just to kind of look nice, because I have a bunch of these, so I kind of just display them wherever I feel like it. Alright, so the next section we're going to go to is this section right here. This is my non-WCA cubes. Some of them are 3x3 shape mods, but they're not cubic 3x3 shape mods, so these are all my non-cubic 3x3 shape mods. Alright, so the first cube we have right here is the Medford's egg, and it is extremely clicky, as you can see. It has ball bearings inside of it, and it can be super loud and annoying. It's a pretty fun puzzle. There are some like duplicate pieces that are exactly the same, so it can be a pretty fun challenge because sometimes you can get parity, but I have never been able to not solve it. As you can see, it's solved. And then right here we have the Lemon Cube, which is a 3x3 shape mod. It's shape shifts and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty fun. It turns pretty smoothly, and it's just overall a fun puzzle. It also has duplicates, but because of how many different duplicates there are, it actually makes it easier than a regular 3x3 to solve. Then right here we have the Pyraminx. So this is actually a really fun puzzle. I highly recommend it if you want to get into cubing. It is a fun challenge. It takes a little bit while, like I'd say it takes me about 60 seconds to solve. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't ever like timed myself, but it is a very fun puzzle. A little bit harder than the Ready Cube, but it is a very fun puzzle to mess around with. Then right here we have the Ufo Cube. So this is a 3x3 shape mod, and it does shape shifts. It's actually pretty difficult just because of how weird the pieces are. It's hard to figure out where they go, but it's not too difficult. It doesn't take that long to solve, but it is a pretty fun puzzle. And then finally, the last thing we have, this, I don't remember what this is called, but it's basically a 5x5 shape mod. If you kind of look at it, you can kind of tell. It's basically a 5x5 without edges, so I can turn all the centers just as I normally would, and then I can turn all the U and R layers or whatnot if I want to, and like I can do commutators on it. But it's a pretty easy puzzle. It's basically, like I said, it's basically a 5x5 without edges, so you just have to solve the centers. But yeah, it's a pretty fun puzzle to mess around with. It is another one if you want to get into non-WCA puzzles that it's fun to do. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go on to is this shelf right here, which is more non-WCA puzzles. So let's get those off. Alright, so the first puzzle we're going to look at, this is the 3x3 by 9. So this is a super fun puzzle. It's pretty difficult to actually do. I've only done it one time. I can't remember if I actually did it or if I cheated. Oh wait, this is okay. So this is a 3x3 by 8 because it does shapeshift this direction. So it is a 3x3 by 8. That's why it's odd layered or even layered. But yeah, so you can get some parodies on here. It's a pretty fun challenge if you want to get into it. I do recommend if you want to get into something like this to get a little bit smaller, like a 3x3 by 4, 3x3 by 5, because those can be a little bit easier than that one to just get into it. Then right here we have this Medford's cube, some shapeshifting 2x2. I've never actually solved it, as you can tell. It's pretty fun. It shapeshifts, but I've never actually solved it, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to end up solving it anytime soon. Then we have, this is the Medford's Extreme Cube. It is a very, very fun and loud puzzle because it has ball bearings. But it is a very fun puzzle to get all these colors to match, and it's relatively easy. If you know how to do a cube, if you just mess around, you can pretty much figure out how to do it. Then we have the Ghost Cube, the Cuber's Nightmare. This cube is extremely difficult to solve. It does actually take me about half an hour if I want to do it, but it is very, very fun. It is one of the first I actually got just because I thought it looked super cool and did not realize how difficult it was going to be. But it is a very, very fun puzzle if you want to get into it, and yeah. Then right here, this is a puzzle I recently got, but I never actually showed it on the channel. But this is the 3x3 by 4. This is the 3x3 by 4 mix-up. It's a pretty good challenge. I did solve it, but I don't think I'm ever going to scramble it again. It probably took me about 3 hours because I didn't know the parity algorithms, so I basically just did it until I didn't get parity. Super annoying, but I did end up getting it eventually. Then right here we have, this is the Pyraminx that is why do I keep saying Pyraminx? This is the Pedals M Cube. So it is magnetic and it's basically just a ready cube, but it is a little bit nicer. It turns very, very smoothly. I did lube it up and it's just super nice to mess around with. And it is a very fun puzzle if you want to get into cubing because it's relatively easy, pretty intuitive. But it is super fun to mess around. All right, and then next up on the list, we have this cube. I have no idea what it is called, but it does turn like a regular cube. And then if you turn it halfway like that, you can then switch the centers and do like that. So it is a very, very hard challenge. You can get parity on it. This is another one where I did end up solving only once. And basically it was just a go until I didn't get parity kind of a thing as well. All right, so then right here we have the Dot Cube. I believe it's called the Dot Cube, I don't remember, but it is a very easy puzzle. It has frosted plastic, so it is extremely slippery. I haven't used it that much, but like I said, it's pretty like easy. So like if I scramble it right here, I can probably do it in like 10 seconds at least. All right, so let's just solve it real fast because it is extremely easy. If I remember how to do it, let's see, go like that. And there we go, solve it like that. Super easy puzzle, pretty fun to play with. And then last on the list right here, we have the Ready Barrel Cube. Another very fun puzzle. It doesn't turn extremely well even after lubing it, and it does get cut a lot, but it is a pretty fun puzzle. This is the transparent one, which I think looks extremely cool, like this. And it is a pretty fun challenge. I did end up actually losing one of the caps to this piece, as you can see, but I do think it's a very fun challenge. I do have a bunch of ready cubes in my collection, but yeah, so that is that group of cubes. All right, so the next section we're going to go into is this section right here. So let's actually do the bottom first. These are all of my 3x3 shape mods. Okay, so first off in this collection, we have the Mirror Cube. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It is a very, very fun puzzle. It's pretty easy and is one of the classic Cuber non-WCA puzzles. Then right here we have the DNA Cube. It is another really, really fun puzzle. It looks really cool and it's actually pretty difficult. It is one of my more hard 3x3 shape mods. Then these two cubes right here, we have the keychain and the regular. I think this is called the Penrose Cube. It has 3 colors and it is like curved on the sides. It is pretty fun to mess around with. And it is a very easy yet hard puzzle because sometimes you can get parity. But if you know how to solve a 3x3, you can pretty much figure it out. All right, then right here we have the Windmill Cube. This is another really, really fun puzzle. It's it looks really cool if you go like this with it, as you can see. It's just another one of those puzzles that I have. It's an easy puzzle, pretty fun to mess around with. Then this is the Rubik's Void Cube. It doesn't turn very well, but it is very fun, and I have solved this a couple times. And then we have the Axis Cube, which is another 3x3 shape mod, which is pretty fun to mess around with. This is the Bandage Cube that I made. It is extremely loud. It does turn really well. But I don't know how to solve it. I actually ended up taking it apart and putting it back together to solve it because I got parity and I didn't know how to do it. And it turns out when I made this cube, I actually made it differently than a normal bandage cube, so I don't know how to solve it because there's no particular instructions on how to do it online. Then right here we have the 3x3x2 that I also custom modded. Another very, very fun puzzle. And it's extremely easy. You can get parity on it, but I can usually figure it out. And it does shapeshift as well. All right, then the last puzzles we have, this is the 3x3 barrel cube that I actually modded. It's actually a really fun puzzle. It's super fun, and I'm pretty glad I made it. But yeah, so this is the 3x3 barrel cube that I made, custom modded. And then finally, I have these 2 barrel cubes. There's a big one and a small one right here. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I made them. That's the barrel cube. These are those. Yeah, that's it. All right, and then the next section we have right above it, we have all of my basically shape mods of WCA cubes that are not 3x3s. So let's go ahead and get into these. All right, so first off, this is my 1x1 Pyraminx that I made. I made a video where I made a bunch of 1x1 cubes just out of epoxy. It is not proportional at all. It's pretty terrible, but it's a pretty fun little thing just to have, just to look nice on my collection. Then this is a 3x3 shape mod. I have no idea what it's called. It is a very, very difficult cube, but I do know how to solve it. And it is one of my hardest 3x3 shape mods that I can actually solve. Then right here we have 2 cubes. This is the jelly version and a regular version. This is the 2x2 Pyraminx, which is actually can shapeshift, as you can see, and you can get into some funny situations. I have solved it before, obviously. It is extremely difficult if you don't know some of the algorithms, but that is pretty much that cube. Then we have the 4x4 Pyraminx. This is a really, really fun puzzle. I did get this off of Amazon. This is one of my first ones that I ever got. That was a non-WCA cube. But yeah, so it's a pretty fun puzzle. If you know how to solve a Pyraminx, you can solve this. It's just a little bit harder, and it is definitely a fun challenge. Then we have the 2x2 Kilominx, which is basically just a 2x2 Megaminx. Pretty easy to solve, and it's a pretty fun puzzle. Then we have the Gigaminx off of that, which is like the 5x5 Megaminx. It's also another fun puzzle that I got. It doesn't turn like super well, but it's not too bad. And yeah. And then lastly, we have this cube, which is basically the 5x5 version of that 3x3 shape mod. This is one of the hardest cubes I own that I can actually solve. It shapeshifts, and it's pretty annoying to deal with. It doesn't shapeshift a lot, but it can get really like crazy when you're actually messing with it. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna go to is this shelf up here. So there's actually 2 cubes up there I'm not gonna show, but I'll put them in the counter because I haven't unboxed them yet and made a video about them. But then right here we have just the regular X cube, which is basically a 5x5. It is extremely loud as well. But it is a very, very fun puzzle, and it's pretty hard. I have solved it a couple times. I actually made a video solving it. It's pretty difficult, but I have done it. But yeah, that's that. All right, and if you can see up there, I'll try to zoom in maybe. but there is actually 3 games up there. There's a Rubik's Race, a Rubik's Battle card game, and then there's just Rubik's puzzle that I got from like McDonald's one time. One of my siblings got it, so that's up there. Those are just some of my cube games that I don't really play all that often, but they're just on my shelf for display. So next we're gonna go to right here. Maybe you can see, I can't tell because I can't see what the camera's looking at, but right here I have my 3x3 cubes. So let's get into these. All right, so first off right here, we have the Sudoku Cube. I've never actually solved it. It is extremely difficult because there's no algorithms for it, because there's no like colors, so you have to do it based off of the numbers. I thought it was gonna be a pretty easy challenge, but I've never been able to solve it, even after spending hours trying to figure it out. But it is a very, very fun 3x3 puzzle. Then we have, this is the Christmas Cube from a couple years ago, from Sudoku Shop. It is a very, very fun puzzle to mess around with for the holidays, and I got it for Christmas one year. But yeah, it's just a fun puzzle. It looks pretty cool with all the different colored stickers. I mean, it is actually a challenge because you're not used to the color scheme. All right, and then we have this 3x3 shape mod, or not shape mod, sticker mod. As you can see right here, it just have some extra colors on it. It can be pretty fun to solve because you can do it 2 different ways. Because you can make it where this matches up with the center, or you can make it where this matches up with the outside, which is pretty fun to mess around with because you can do 2 different solutions for it basically. So yeah, I just had it in this state because I think it looks a little bit nice. I just realized that's funny. So this side has it like this, but then this side has it like this. All right, there we go. So that's pretty much solved now. And as you can see, all of them are like that. It is a very, very fun puzzle, and it was actually kind of difficult to figure out, but I did do it. It is very fun to mess around with sometimes. Then right here, we have the Rubik's Blind Cube. So this is a blind cube, so I can solve it just because, like, with my eyes closed, because it does have textures on each side, so you can feel the different textures and solve it based off of that. And what's funny is if I get a regular Rubik's brand right here, listen to this. And it sucks, right? Then we get this Rubik's Cube, which is the Rubik's Blind Cube, and listen to this. So yeah, it is extremely quieter, and it actually is a whole lot faster than the original Rubik's Cube. So yeah, so that's pretty fun. It is fun to solve, but these are my 2 Rubik's brand cubes that I own. Then right here we have 2 Chi cubes. I did get them for modding, but I never actually used them. I may use them in the future, I don't know, but these are just 2 Chi cubes. And then finally we have another Chi cube, but I use this for blindfold, even though I don't practice blind. But if I do, this will be the cube I use. As you can see, it's labeled with all the blind numbers and letters on it. And then finally, I also just have this mini 3x3 that I have on display with these cubes. I have a couple of these scattered throughout my display just because I feel like it adds a little bit of, I don't know, niceness to it. I feel like it makes it look a little bit nicer. All right, so now we're going to go into the cubes that are non-WCA, just the last couple that are over here. That I keep on display right here. So let's just get those along with the one that are not my main. All right, so right here, this is just another 3x3 that I have on display. Right here, it was signed by Kevin Hayes, as you can see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He's the only one that I've been to a competition with worthy of signing a cube. So that is what I have. Then right here, I've got a 2x2x4, which is from Rubik's brand. It's a pretty easy puzzle to solve, and I definitely recommend it for beginners. Then right here, we just have a infinity cube. As you can see, it just goes like this forever. And then you can actually take it apart into 2 separate cubes. So these are pretty cool little thing. So it looks like this when you take it apart, and then you can put it back, and then you can put it back like that into what looks like a 2x2. All right, and then now going into non-Rubik's Cube puzzles. This is some Snowflake Cube that I got one year, and you can like take it apart and do stuff with it. But it is pretty fun to mess around with, and I think it does look pretty nice for the holidays. Then we have the Rubik's Snake. This is some YJ ball that you can move the balls across, and they snap. It's a pretty fun puzzle to mess around with. And then this is the Rubik's Orbit. So it is a very, very fun puzzle to mess around with, but I've never actually solved it, and I don't plan on it. But it is a very, very hard challenge if you want to get into that. All right, so the final two cubes we have are my in-by-in puzzles that are not competition. So this right here is a 9x9. It is pretty fun to solve, but it's not magnetized, and it does pop a lot, like I just popped it just now. There we go. But yeah, it is a pretty fun puzzle. It doesn't actually take that long to solve. This one probably takes me about half an hour, I don't really know. And then right here we have the Yuxin Meilong 11x11 that I magnetized. A really fun puzzle, and I actually do mess around with it a lot. And it is like the centerpiece of my collection because it is the most expensive cube that I have, and I've spent the most time creating it because I magnetized it and all of that. And yeah, it just means a lot to me. It is one of my favorite cubes that I have in my collection. All right, so finally we're gonna go into my cubes that are my mains and backup mains for competition. All right, so first we're gonna do Pyraminx. So I have two Pyraminxes. This is the X-Man Bell. It is a very good puzzle. This was my first main that I got, and then it recently got replaced by the Gan Pyraminx. It's just so much smoother, and it corner cuts so much better. And it just doesn't, I can turn it a whole lot faster, but I don't actually practice it that much, but this is my main. Then I have two Megaminxes. This is the X-Man Galaxy V2M. It is very good Megaminx, but it's a little bit too slow for me. So my main is actually the Gan Megaminx, which I have in this package right now that it comes with. It's super fast, super crunchy, and I overall just love the turning of this cube, and it is my main. But again, this is one of those cubes I don't practice that often, so it doesn't really matter that much to me, just because I don't practice it as much as I would like to. All right, then we have this cube, another one I don't practice too much. This is the Cosmic Wingy. All right, so then we actually have three square ones. This is a Chi one. I got it for modding. Then this is the X-Man version 1, I think. It's not magnetic, and it is very smooth on the center, but overall it's just not super good. And then I have the X-Man Volt V2, which is a very, very nice square one, but I don't actually really practice square one that much. But this is my main, even though I don't practice it. All right, and finally we have my main. All right, so first off in this section, I actually have two mini 3x3s. This is a really fast, but not very corner cutting, but it is pretty small. And this is another 3x3 that sucks. But yeah, so I just have these on display as well, like all the other ones. All right, so let's go into the 4 2x2s that I own. So this right here is just some random 2x2. I don't remember where I got it, but I do have like the blind stuff on it in case I want to do blindfolded. Then we have the Gan 251M, which used to be my old main from last year, if you remember. Then this is a Cyclone Boys 2x2. It is extremely loud, and it's pretty terrible. And then finally we have my main. This is the Gan 251M. It is a very fast, very stable 2x2, and I really like it. And the magnets are just super strong, and overall it's just a great 2x2 for me. All right, so now we're gonna go into my 3x3s that are main worthy, starting with my worst to my favorite. So this is the Gan Rsm. It is extremely slow now. This was my first cube that I got. It was actually like a speed cube, but now it is like super slow, and I can't turn it very fast, and I get the worst times on it. But it was a good cube when I was first starting, but then I don't really know what happened to it. It just got super slow. Then we have the Yuxin Little Magic, not magnetic. This is another really, really just good puzzle for $5. It's pretty cheap. I got it a while back, and it's just a really good puzzle. In case all my cubes break, I will use this one in competition, but it's very unlikely I'll end up using it. Then this is the next budget cube I have. I believe this is the Yuxin Long, but I can't remember, but it is very good budget cube. It is magnetic. For like $10. I got it from Sudoku giveaway. This is what I got from that, and I set it up, and it actually became a very, very good cube. Then we have the Gan Rsm. Sometimes I actually prefer this over my main just because of how stable it is. The magnets are just super strong, and overall I just really like the feeling of this cube. It's super stable, super fast, and I just really love it. Then we have the X. This is the Gan X. It is super fast and super smooth. I don't actually use it for my main just because it's way too fast for my turning style, but I do use it if I want to do one-handed, but I pretty much suck at one-handed, so I don't do it that often, and I just messed up the cube. But yeah, that's the Gan X that I actually got for free, if you remember that video. Then right here we have the Gan XS, which is my main. It's super stable, super fast, super light. overall just a great cube. I love it. It's perfectly tensioned to my settings and springs and magnets and all of that. It's great. Love it. This will probably be my main 3x3 for the rest of my cubing career. I do not see myself buying another 3x3 anytime soon. Then finally we have 4x4s, which I actually have a 4x4 over there in the box, which will be counted in the cube timer or whatever, but I will not be doing that because I'm going to be making an unboxing video of that cube, which will come out hopefully soon. But let's go into these cubes first. So this is my 4x4 that is actually broken, as you can see. It is this is the first 4x4 I got that I started on, and I did break the corner and throw that corner away. But I mean, because it's a 4x4, it still works. You can still turn it pretty much normally, other than this being gone. But yeah, obviously I can't use it in competition. Then we have this V cube, which my friend gave to me, which is super loud. And so yeah, so that's that. Then we have this 4x4. I don't remember how I got it, but I got it somehow. It is my backup main. It's not magnetic, but it's actually not that bad. If this was magnetic, it actually might be my main, but I'm not going to magnetize it. Then finally, this is my current main. This is the Gan 460, I believe. Yeah, the Gan 460M. I do actually like this puzzle for 4x4, but I don't practice 4x4 that much. But yeah, so this is my current 4x4 main. Then finally, we have two 5x5s. This is my old main, which is the Moyu Aochuang GTS M, I believe, 5x5. And then we have this Volk 5x5, which is my current main, which actually I think I have another one. Yeah, so I actually missed a 5x5. This is the first 5x5 I got, and it sucks. It's super slow. I can't turn it very fast. Like, this is literally as fast as I can turn it. So it's not very fast, and it's super slow, and it's not magnetic. And yeah, and then we have the Volk, which I think I already talked about, but this is my main. Then going on into 6x6, we have the X-Man Shadow M 6x6 and the MGC 6x6. These are two very, very good puzzles. And but the MGC is just a little bit faster, and so I use it as my main. Then 7x7, we have the Ukes and Haze, a very, very good puzzle. I really like it. It's extremely stable. But just because I've basically tapped out on speed on this cube, I actually use the MGC 7x7 as my main, just because of how much faster it is. And I really just like this puzzle. If you didn't also notice, I've been shifting over lately to stickerless mains. And that's also another reason why some of these are my mains, just because they're stickerless, and I actually do like stickerless better. Alright guys, and after all of that, our cube collection total comes out to this. Wow, that is just insane. I can't believe how many cubes we have. That is also including the 2 cubes that I have not unboxed yet, so I have not showed those, but I did put those in the counter. Alright guys, thank you for watching all the way to the end. It means a whole lot to me. I worked so hard on this video, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.